Hey guys, welcome back to the Long Story Short podcast. As you can see, we have our awesome friend Ben Wiscombe here. We have a very special episode for you today, guys, to start off with the new year. We hope you all had a wonderful Merry Christmas. We also hope you all had a wonderful Happy New Year. And so sorry it's been forever since we posted another episode. I've been busy with work, school, along with Raj as well. We were just trying to find the time on getting together again, and now today's the day. So to start off with 2025, we have been talking about this particular episode for a while, so if there are any Legend of Zelda fans out there, as you guys can see, they have the hats on, the shirts on, and Raj and I are wearing the same shirt. I'm actually on my knees right now, but I'll be standing up in a bit. We are going to be talking about Zelda nostalgia today. So what's going to happen for all of those who are listening? Raj and Ben are going to answer a couple of questions that I thought of, and we hope that you guys enjoy this episode. If you have anything in the comments, by all means, post them in the comments. We would love to hear your guys' favorite topics on this too. So I'm going to go ahead and step in the background while Ben and Raj come closer to the screen.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right.
I'm happy to be back on the what's the podcast called?
Long story short.
Long story short, happy to be back on the podcast as a guest, and excited to talk some Zelda. I'm as big as Zelda nerds get. So
Awesome.
Happy to be back on the podcast. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you had a good time during the holiday season. I had a good time. It was a blast. It was spending time with my family. It was getting close to my siblings. I haven't seen for a while. It was a good trip with some of my family members. So it was fun and exciting.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit louder since I'm a little bit back here for you guys to hear me. So we will start with Ben on question one. And when I answer you guys these questions, like feel free to go into all the details you want. Feel free to share maybe 2 or 3 details on this question right here to give our viewers an awesome experience, mainly in case that they have other questions too, if they ever feel inspired to ask any. So Ben, starting with you, what was the first Zelda game you have played? Not played all the way through, the first time you ever got into Zelda.
that's a good question. And I feel like everybody falls in love with like that first experience they play Zelda, like that first Zelda experience. And for me, it was just growing up. My family had a Nintendo 64 growing up, and I was really young. Like I remember we had that 64, and I was too young to even play video games. I was I'd just be like whenever I picked up a controller, I'd just be running into walls and all that stuff. I didn't know how to play video games. I was maybe 3 or I don't know how old I was, but my siblings, I remember them playing, and I remember them playing Zelda, and like that was the game that I actually enjoyed watching them play more than the other games. It just seemed more expansive and realistic to me, and all of that stuff. So later on, I remember asking my my parents for another Nintendo 64 because we ended up giving that 64 away, and then for years we didn't have one. And I remember,
Dang it. I guess, wait, no, don't take it.
then I remember asking for a Nintendo 64 again on my birthday, and this is back when they would have been really cheap because they were out of date. It wasn't the current system, current platform. So I asked for a 64, and then I ended up getting Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Mm.
And it's Ocarina of Time. That's my first Zelda experience, and it was a blast. I love Ocarina of Time, and
Awesome.
it's also that I guess that's what I'll leave it at right there.
Awesome. All right, Raj. So very first time you played a Zelda game.
Yeah, so first growing up, I'm gonna take it back a little further.
Oh, go
But
for it.
I grew up with all the Nintendo, like the Sega, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, and the rest, and then the Switch. And so I've been having all those, played some of the Zelda games, but the first one was on the Nintendo with the I can't remember the name of the title of it. That's so long.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, dude. No worries
Yeah.
at all.
So yeah, the Nintendo that we played on Nintendo. That was the first one I played. I really got into it, and then the first one the first one really caught me. What Ben was saying, the one on High Roll of Time. but on the Nintendo 64 when time.
Oh,
That was
you're good.
the most got more attention from me playing the Zelda. But I've really played the first one on the Nintendo, but when it caught more of my attention came being a fan of Zelda with the on the 164 closing at the time.
Awesome. I think I'll go ahead and answer this one myself. So my first Zelda experience was probably Ocarina of Time as well. That one is a more common for our generation, even though we have older generations where they had like the Super Nintendo Zelda games, but we unfortunately weren't really around when those came out. But I heard great things about them too. I would say Ocarina of Time was just the first time where I was fiddling around with a controller, just being curious. And I did the same with Majora's Mask as well, also on Nintendo 64. But I would say when I got more serious into Zelda was when I played Twilight Princess. That one was one of my first times actually getting to know a Legend of Zelda game. Awesome, guys. Well, that was very, very good. Nicely done.
Heck yeah.
Now, this is going to get a little tougher. So, Raj, we'll start with you this time. Favorite Zelda game and why?
Ooh, that's good. That's a tough one. I have to say the Arena of Time. That just I grew up with
Ocarina
it.
for you? Okay.
Yeah. I'd say the Arena of Time. It came out. It came in our generation. That's why it was more popular. It got more attention. In my personal opinion. And all the reason why because I really like the soundtrack.
Oh,
I really like the soundtrack. My personal favorite is the sand temple,
oh yeah.
the desert temple,
In
where,
Gerudo Valley, yeah.
really that one. Yeah, that was my favorite. I really like the soundtrack when you kind of go to that temple. That's the big reason I just really love the soundtrack of that game. Of that Hyrule Queen of Time.
Awesome,
Just
dude.
with the soundtrack.
Awesome. All right, Ben, you?
Mine's also Ocarina of Time. We're just gonna be celebrating Ocarina of Time here.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Ocarina of Time. Like, go Ocarina.
And another thing, one of the reasons is because was my first Zelda experience, but also at the same time, Ocarina of Time, it just has that charm. All that charm that you look for in a Zelda game, it's in Ocarina of Time, 100%. And so you go into that game, and right off the get go, yeah, the music is perfect. It's perfect. It's one of the best in any video game. And then at the same time, like the story's super compelling at the same time. You're going back and forth in between time. You're trying to stop events from happening, and you're trying to. And the dungeons are better in that game, in my opinion, than any of the other games. It's brings all of the dungeons together, and you put that all together, and it's just iconic. All the locations are iconic. The villages, the everything from start to finish, just great about that game. So it's still my number one. So
That's freaking awesome, dude. And then with me, I gotta say maybe Ocarina is one of my more favorites. I wish I took that one more seriously. I do have a big soft spot for Twilight Princess, though. That was the first Zelda game I played all the way through, and I did enjoy it. You know, I still have a soft spot for it, but I wish I got Ocarina of Time in more attention because people argue it is one of the best story driven games ever created. And with me, I love a good story to a video game. And I did remember playing more of it, and I was like, okay, I can see why people love this. And now it's on. It's one of my favorites now. Speaking of Ocarina of Time, we will get into this later after we do our questions. I told you too that me and some of my friends were trying to film a Zelda movie back in the day, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember, but yeah,
I think yeah.
that's awesome.
So basically, what we were doing, me, a 6'2" guy. Who do you think I played as?
Ganondorf, baby.
No, I was actually playing as Link.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy who played as Ganondorf was actually about your height.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, we just thought it would be a funny idea just to switch it up a little bit. Like, and for our uniform, we had like a green bandana, a green shirt, khaki pants, like the cheapest Link outfit we could find from Savers or DI. One of the locations we wanted to film at to give it that awesome Gerudo Valley tribute, we had someone who owned horses, who had a ranch. we were literally thinking of going to Monument Valley to riding a horse through the desert and playing the Garuda Valley theme. Like it would have been so cool, but we unfortunately never got to it.
Oh, do you, oh, I'm gonna ask if you do like remember when in the game you have to get the horse and you have to do a couple laps. You get there, then go over the fence and everything. I wouldn't be able to do that, but
Yeah, unfortunately, the filming ended up being like a 2 minute
oh,
project.
gotcha,
So, but
gotcha.
we'll go more into
Gotcha.
that later.
Okay.
Okay, so continuing the questions. So, Ben, you'll be first this time. Okay, Ben, I hate to ask the painful question. A lot of Zelda fans might get a little intense right here. Okay, can I have a drum roll, please, guys? Even if it's like a... Okay, Ben. And if you don't know this one, just be honest as best you can, okay? Your least favorite Zelda game and why?
Okay.
Like one that you thought either maybe you didn't like or maybe could use a little more work or something.
Well, mine's going to be a popular opinion among a lot of Zelda fans. Just I love, and I'll start this off by just saying I love all Zelda games. I've played all of them. I haven't beat all of them. I beat most of them and played all of them, and I enjoy all of them. They have that feel to it that just feels great. But my least favorite is The Adventures of Link, Zelda 2.
Oh, the very old school one.
A
Okay.
very old school one. It's just this. It's the only side-scrolling Zelda game, and it's the reason it's my least favorite is just complete. It's really challenging. I've always just made it to that first dungeon, and I've never even beat that first boss.
And
So
I think
I've
that one
never
is
really-
one of the harder ones out of all of them.
It's one of the harder ones. One thing I do like about that game is the music is amazing. Just like in most Zelda games, the music's great. It's got that like dungeon music that's really good. That's also in like Smash Bros.
Oh,
Way
yeah.
good, way good song, iconic. But yeah, just a super challenging game, and it was hard to muscle through it. So that's got to be my least favorite Zelda game.
All right. Well, thank you.
I have to say, give you a couple. Yeah, quick put me on the spot. I have to say, the Moana's Mask. I have to say,
Jorah's Mask. Okay.
Mask, yes, yeah.
That one was a little
I saw the walk. I never played it. I never played it.
it was very dark.
I saw the walkthrough and just it was nice. It was a good game, but it just didn't really caught my attention. So I didn't really. It was just kind of a weird storyline, my personal opinion. But yeah, so
I would say with Majora's Mask to add on that one, I loved the idea on that one. And I think, like, do you think Majora's Mask was, correct me if I'm wrong, do you think Majora's Mask was the first one to introduce the alternate timeline? Where it was like the timeline of the hero defeated or the hero won.
Yeah.
Or something like that, yeah.
Well, they kind of put the timeline together a little bit after that, but in its own timeline. So the timeline splits into three different universes after Ocarina of Time, and yeah, that's the first one in that universe or in that branch off. But like the original Zelda game on the NES and some of the other old ones are also in another branch off that actually take place later in time.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. I would say with mine, I don't think I have a least favorite Zelda game, because I always love the concept of them. I will say at first, I wasn't really a big fan of Breath of the Wild because I just did not like that big map where it just took forever for you to get from one point to the other. Like, it had great intentions, and I'm sure all you the open world gamers love it, and I still have a huge soft spot for it. Like, I don't mind playing it, but I'm just more of a story driven guy. Even though I noticed that, even though I noticed Breath of the Wild tried doing that, but in my opinion, the map was just way too big. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to have time to get this all cleared when you just want to get your focus on getting to the next chapter or being the main villain. And I think that's the only minor detail about it where I just wish they either made it just a little easier or maybe give it a more purpose to type of people. But like I said, great idea. But I think that's my only bug about it. Okay. Are you guys ready for question number 4 to help bring the positive mood back in? because I'm worried that a lot of people are just going to stop watching it right there.
Those of you that stayed with us.
For those that stayed with us,
the OGs.
Yep, heck yeah, dude. Okay, Raj, we'll start with you on this one. Favorite boss battle.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Favorite boss battle. We all have at least 2 or 3 favorites that were they were just so good.
I have to say this is a tough one. I don't like the temple, but it's very very challenging and very very annoying.
Mhm.
It's the water temple. The water temple and
Which one?
that in the looking of time.
Okay,
In the
good,
Wicking
good,
of Time.
good.
And you're facing yourself, so it's kind of challenging. That's kind of interesting. You're facing yourself, so I have to say, yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Me, it's also in Ocarina of Time, the Phantom Ganon in the Forest Temple.
Oh,
I just think, I mean, I just love the feel of that. You're shooting arrows into these paintings, and
dude.
Ganon is showing up at different sides of these paintings through his horse.
Oh,
The way that he enters into that boss fight is really cool, and
question.
that's a blast, man. That was great.
Was that the one with the spear, or was that a different Ganon?
I don't remember. He might have a spear in that.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
remember. It was Ganondorf.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, that one was awesome.
Okay, yeah. Because basically, I had another thought that we'll get into later about
Yeah.
that. That's
Okay.
what I thought I asked, but that's freaking awesome. My favorite boss battle, I did have a couple of them, but one that I really liked in Twilight Princess was when you fight the giant spider. That one I thought was really fun.
Okay.
How, it was a spider with that big laser eye.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, probably Goma.
Goma or something like that.
Yeah.
The dragon in Twilight Princess was pretty fun too. But yeah, like I say, Twilight Princess is what I mostly remember. The mini bosses in Breath of the Wild have been pretty fun as well. Before you fight the beasts themselves, so I thought that they were pretty creative. All right, awesome. Okay, this one's gonna be another tricky one. We all know the Master Sword has been such an iconic weapon in Zelda for such a long time because of what it represents, what it does, and the cool stuff you can do with it. What is your favorite weapon favorite weapon or object or tools throughout all of the Zelda games? I'm thinking of something right now. I hope you guys are on the same mind as me. What is your favorite thing to use besides the Master Sword?
Oh, man.
I already got one. I'm really hoping you guys are thinking the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
I'll let Raj go first.
Go ahead, Raj. Yeah.
I'm going between. I'm going between the air, the bow
Mm-hmm.
or the hammer.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm trying to. So if I would have to say, I'd say the bow. I have to get the bow.
The bow for you. Okay,
Yeah,
Ben.
For me, I really like the hook shot in any of the games. I like being able to shoot and lock onto something.
That's what I was thinking too. The freaking grappling.
Yeah, the hook shot's always awesome in all the games. They bring that in. But I do want to mention also the Force Sword in the games where the Force Sword is there. It turns you into 4 different links, and it's a powerful sword. And I actually really like the Force Sword. It's pretty cool to play as 4 different links.
That's awesome.
And then speaking of swords, I do not like where you in Breath of the Wild where you use a weapon and it breaks, and then you have to find another weapon to replace it. And Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. If you get the Master Sword in the Breath of the Wild, it's not fully. It's not fully. You can't really use it.
It loses its energy, so it kind of breaks temporarily, and then you have to get its energy back.
So I think you should. With my personal opinion, you get the Master Sword, and then boom, you get the sword. It's unlimited. You can do it anytime you want.
To make it so much easier for gamers.
Yeah.
Especially newcomers. Newcomers.
Yeah.
Like I said, another part about Breath of the Wild that I did not like. One of my favorite weapons, so of course, now since Ben said the grappling hook or the hook shot, that one was really fun to use in Twilight Princess. But there was another one that just came to my mind that I was surprised that you two did not mention. What about in Ocarina of Time, the Mirror Shield? That one was really creative.
You have to use it. Yes,
that one was so handy to use for the gameplay that I saw. I was like, whoa.
And there's a couple different mirror shields in a couple games.
At the Sand Temple. We had use it at the Sand Temple.
Nice. Awesome. Sick. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the end of our episode. We have about two more questions left.
Okay.
Ben, we'll start off with you. Which Princess Zelda is your favorite?
I like that. I like that. For me, it's gonna be it's tough. It's close between Twilight Princess, Princess Zelda, and the one in Skyward Sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Skyward Sword right now, honestly. Just I feel like that Princess Zelda, like the relationship that Link has with her is he's just like they're just like best friends.
Yes.
And she just seems so like free and easy, like just an easygoing Zelda. Like I get along with that one pretty good, I guess.
Yes. Awesome.
And
Like,
I love her design in that game too. She got the bangs, she's got the pink dress. Obviously, they always got the pink dress, but she's got a good design in that one, and she gets to fly around with Link in the skies. Like that's got to be my favorite Zelda.
and then Skyward Sword, if I'm correctly, it's technically the very, very first Zelda in
Yeah.
all of the Zelda period.
Correct.
Okay, so that's technically our first Zelda then.
It's my first Zelda. It was awesome.
Sweet. All right, Raj, how about you?
So what was the question?
So your favorite Princess Zelda?
Man, that's a tough one. And I'll take the Ring of Time to just
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, and then I like how she would shoot in secret, like she went over with the mask and everything,
Mhm.
and she played the song in front of Link, and then turned out it was her the whole time.
Oh, yeah, I still thought
she
that was
kinda
really
had-
cool.
She kind of had her identity, so
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. So I'd say the Ring of Time.
Chic,
Awesome.
man. She's awesome.
Let's see here. My favorite Zelda. I don't know if I have a favorite Zelda, or maybe I have one that I really like. The first one that I got interacted with was, of course, Twilight Princess, the one where Link talks to the very least. Like, I think that Zelda, you meet her at the very end. She's kind of like a last second extra help type of Zelda, which I still thought was really cool on what she did. But ooh, I saw Skyward Sword Zelda a little bit. I could see why a lot of people like that one too. I really liked what they did with Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, though. How they gave her a more realistic personality. In other words, I think she's better off than a Disney princess, you know?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, she would be the ultimate Disney
Yeah.
princess.
She was very useful in those two games.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, guys, last question. This one, I'm really hoping it gets a lot of comments, people, because we have huge anticipation. We got huge high hopes for this one. Raj, we'll start off with you again. What is some of your hopes for the Zelda movie that you're hoping to see?
Ooh. I hope they focus on the plot more. Like they focus on the plot, not going off outside the story. And hope they focus on whatever. Hope they. Well, probably we don't know which one they're gonna do. We don't know which one the Winning of Time or whatever the other game. So hope they do the Winning of Time, it makes it easier and more simple to understand. My personal opinion. So hopefully hopefully just follow the plot and just make it more sense and more easy to understand. Not going off like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go back to keep going back and forth. So we just stay with the plot and then stay within the main story. What, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Ben, how about you?
For me, I hope they make it dark.
Mhm.
One of my favorite things about Zelda is that some of the stuff in the games is dark.
Oh, yeah.
Majora's Mask, a very dark game, and Twilight Princess is also pretty dark. And like each game has a little like either a dungeon or a little bit of the playthrough that's pretty dark, and I've always enjoyed those parts sometimes the most. And so if they make this kind of dark, make Ganondorf or Ganon, make him really evil, make him horrifying, like
Mhm.
let's do that. I'll take all that I can get, and I'll be excited.
Oh, yeah, I think that would be really cool too.
And I hope they on the Ganondorf hope to make the fight more meaningful and more intense, and then dark as well, like in the Phantom Ganondorf, where they make that kind of entrance, make it more exciting, more compelling. I hope they do that. So I hope keep my fingers crossed. So yeah.
So here is one thing that I'm hoping for the Zelda movie. This is going to sound really unusual, okay? How am I going to put this? I think there's a reason why they're probably saving me for last on this one. So here's what I'm hoping for the Zelda movie, okay? Yes, having Link as the main character is not a bad option, okay? Like we can always go that route, okay? But I am hoping this movie also focuses more on Zelda herself. Because after all, the games are called The Legend of Zelda. And like, especially what Zelda has to do for the wisdom side of Triforce. And then, of course, Link's side of the Triforce, courage, Ganon, the side of power. So I'm really hoping it could go into more depths of the characters for us to recognize them even more, or at least give Zelda a bigger role in the movie. It doesn't have to completely focus on her in general, but maybe give her a little bit more screen time. That way it could be a great introduction to newcomers as well. Like kind of like how they did with the newest game, Echoes of Wisdom, where Zelda finally had the opportunity to be the main character and people loved it. They're like, wow, holy cow, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
That one was just a little shout out to Echoes of Wisdom. That game's a blast. That's the most recent one I played, and they did a great job bringing Zelda into the driver's seat. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they finally have a game. They made a game for Zelda being the main person in the game. It's been a long time because it's been Link, so I'm glad Zelda gets a chance to be the main character in the video game.
Mm-hmm. And then I also expect I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to have Link talk in this one. Like I'm not going to be surprised. Or you know what? Because to me, it just doesn't make sense having a character be mute. Like you might as well just make Link deaf, and when he draws the Master Sword, it could somehow guide him when he has like danger unexpected. Like I think that will be a really creative way to think outside the box
Okay.
for something.
Interesting.
But I don't know. Cool. But that's just my opinion. But who knows? Maybe the Zelda movie could be a big hit, which we're really keeping our fingers crossed. There's still rumors going on about it on who's going to play what, but I bet we're probably not going to hear anything maybe until, if I really wanted to guess, I'm going to guess either by later this year or 2026 is when we're probably going to start hearing some information about it.
I got the same.
Yeah, I bet you they're going to keep it all as quiet as much as possible, waiting for the big reveal.
Only one way to find out.
And I hope it doesn't suck. So
yeah, I would go well. I hope they pick the very good actors for each role of each character. And yeah, fingers crossed.
All right, guys. Well, that is all that we have for our episode. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Rush, for joining.
Thanks, guys.
And for any Zelda fans out there, we always love and support these games as well. If you guys have any comments, feel free to add them in there. What was your favorite Zelda game? Your least favorite game? And of course, yeah, be honest. Like this is a safe haven for us to be honest, and rather than just keeping things quiet. And yeah, like doing this episode was really fun, guys. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys again for meeting up. On that, you guys have a great 2025, and we will see you guys next time. Bye bye.